Welcome to our daily news program broadcast to you here on Canal Algérie. Let's start off with your headlines for today. Algeria's efforts to bring back Syria to the Arab League were at the core of the phone conversation held by the President of the Republic and his Syrian counterpart. Syria's return to the Arab League was favorably welcomed by the Syrian people, who paid a vibrant tribute to the Algerian diplomacy under the aegis of the President of the Republic. Army General Saeed Shingareha, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, on a working and inspection visit to the 3rd Military Region in Bashar Province. And Moroccans keep denouncing their miserable living conditions and the total indifference of the Makhzen regime. Good evening and welcome back. We start off our news with the President of the Republic, who received on Monday a phone call from his brother, the President of Syria, Bashar al-Assad, during which he expressed his heartfelt thanks and appreciation for the President's relentless efforts to enable Syria to resume, within the framework of the Algerian presidency of the Arab Summit, its seat in the Arab League, and wished the Algerian people more progress and prosperity. For his part, the President of the Republic expressed to his Syrian counterpart his esteem and congratulations for the return of Syria to the Arab League, wishing the Syrian people more progress and the joint Arab action to achieve the aspirations of the Arab peoples. The two presidents also agreed to exchange visits and define an action program that covers all sectors for the continuous consolidation of the privileged historical relations uniting the two countries. The return of Syria to the Arab League was the outcome of Algeria's strenuous efforts over the past years, notably the last summit held in Algiers, in addition to the different statements made by the President of the Republic to close the Arab ranks. This eagerly awaited event was highly appreciated by the Syrian people, who paid a vibrant homage to Algeria thanks to its successful diplomacy under the aegis of the President of the Republic, who spared no effort to attain this lofty objective. As part of the follow-up of the Combat Readiness 2022-2023 program, the Army General Saeed Shingareha, Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, started a working and inspection visit in the 3rd Military Region in Bashar Province. Ines Kalou reports.
After the welcoming ceremony, accompanied by Major General Mustafa Ismaili, commander of the 3rd Military Region, the Army General observed a minute of silence in memory of the martyr Mustafa bin Boulaid, whose name is borne by the headquarters, and laid a wreath of flowers in front of his commemorative stele before reciting the Fatiha, or the opening chapter of the Holy Quran, in his memory and that of the valiant Shuhada. The Army General presided over a meeting with the executives and staff of the region, where he delivered an orientation speech followed by all the personnel of the 3rd Military Region via video conference.
إننا في الجيش الوطني الشعبي.
Army General stressed that the sacredness of work, rigor and dedication remain the best means to succeed in accomplishing the assigned missions. He also stressed the need to point out that our Army made great achievements in short time, in accordance with the orientations of the President of the Republic, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces and Minister of National Defense. Thanks to this behavior, to which all interests are attributed by ensuring all conditions to motivate employees and executives to work strictly and within the framework of fair competition, each one according to his field of competence and within the limit of his responsibilities.
وتترسخ لديهم ثقافة المنافسة الشريفة، كل في مجال عمله ونطاق مسؤوليته. وفي نفس السياق حرصنا دوما على المحافظة على الجاهزية العملياتية في أعلى مستوياتها.
The general of the army also affirmed that the National People's Army has always worked to maintain operational readiness at its highest level, as well as preparation and qualitative training for its armed forces, so that they are able to assume their missions and to adapt permanently the evolutions of the geopolitical context and complex stakes facing the region.
تطور الوضع الجيوسياسي وتعقد الرهانات التي تشهدها المنطقة، وبفضل ذلك أصبح الجيش الوطني الشعبي جيشا محترفا بكل ما تعنيه عبارات الاحتراف.
Thus, our army has become a professional one in terms of performance and reasoning, an army that is not afraid of difficulties and hardships, an army that possesses all the ingredients of strength to deter and defeat the malicious attempts of the cowardly conspirators, targeting the security and stability of our beloved homeland.
الجبنة التي تستهدف المساس بأمن واستقرار بلدنا المفدى. وفي إطار هذه المشاريع الخسيسة تندرج محاولات إغراق بلادنا.
Army General warned against the malicious plans that consist of attempts to swamp our country with drugs, calling on all national actors to participate in the noble battle against this dangerous scourge.
وفي هذا الصدد بالذات فإن الجيش الوطني الشعبي بالتنسيق الوثيق مع مختلف مصالح الأمن سيواصل دون هوادة.
For its part, the People's National Army, in close coordination with the various security services, will continue to relentlessly combating the scourge and will spare no efforts in combating smuggling networks and their chiefs betraying the homeland, who deserve severe sanctions.
المواطنين كما أهيب بكافة الفاعلين على الساحة الوطنية من أولياء ورجال.
In this regard, Army General called on all the national components, including parents, media, schools, and mosques, to be engaged in this noble battle by intensifying awareness campaigns for young people, in particular, about the dangers of consuming poison, in order to put an end to this scourge, which has taken alarming proportions in recent times.
الأخيرة أبعاد مقلقة.
At the end, Army General followed the interventions of the 30 military regions personnel and listened to their concerns and proposals and gave them a set of instructions and general orientations.
شكرا لك. بارك الله فيك.
Later on, the Army General chaired a working session where he gave a global presentation on the general situation at the level of their territory, before stressing the imperative need to ensure a total availability of the personnel and units, to show more vigilance and to redouble efforts in order to secure to citizens all the necessary conditions throughout their territory.
In its latest issue, Al Jaish magazine affirmed that violent extremism is a dangerous scourge and in many cases a source of terrorism as it undermines peace. It also harked back on Algeria's experience in the field of fighting terrorism. Melissa Kebash with the details.
The Algerian people will not be fooled twice, was the main headline of Al Jaish magazine in its latest issue, adding in its editorial that violent extremism is a dangerous phenomenon and in many cases a source of terrorism because it undermines peace, security, sustainable development, as well as human rights. No country can avoid these effects. For a decade, Algeria faced a fierce war against terrorism alongside a strategy aimed at undermining the state. But thanks to the great sacrifices of the People's National Army, the government, backed with its people, managed to defeat and eliminate the phenomenon. This recognition has made Algeria the destination of many foreign delegations so as to learn from the country's experience and the context of international cooperation in terms of fighting terrorism. In the 90s of the last century, Algeria managed to face terrorism in the absence of moral and material support expected from the international community. As for today, it continues its efforts in supporting brotherly countries at the continental levels and their fight against violent extremism and terrorism through its various experience. The editorial indicated that Algeria has taken every opportunity in the various international forums to draw the attention of the international community concerning the growing threat, particularly in the Sahel and Saharan regions, due to the necessity to intensify cooperation through a mechanism available at the continental levels and within the United Nations. As stated by the Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, Army General Said Shangriha, Algeria fought this phenomenon of terrorism and warned the entire world about its destructive consequences. Algeria was able to defeat terrorism thanks to the rational exploitation of its capacities and experiences acquired by its people during the glorious Liberation Revolution, adding that the state will never tolerate these attempts and will firmly oppose them. These extremists must bear in mind that their time is over. The state's institutions won't allow the comeback of these adventurers who almost plunged the country into chaos by undermining the state for which millions of martyrs lost their lives. Therefore, the path of change and success of the global development requires the fight against extremism in all its forms.
On Monday, the National Day of Memory was celebrated across the national territory, commemorating the massacres of May 8, 1945. The official festivities kicked off from Serif province, where the War Veterans Minister took part in a march of loyalty to the martyrs, retracing the path of the demonstrators 78 years ago. Commemorating the massacres of May 8, 1945, members of the Council of the Nations, presided by Salah Koujil, observed a minute of silence in the memory of our valiant martyrs who lost their lives for our country's liberty. A ceremony was also organized at the premises of the Foreign Affairs and National Community Abroad Ministry. A wreath of flowers was laid in front of the stele, paying tribute to our valiant martyrs. A minute of silence was also observed in their memory in the presence of the Foreign Minister Ahmed Attaf, as well as officials and executives of the ministry. The massacres of May 8, 1945 were also commemorated in France. The ceremony was organized in Clair-de-Lille, northern France. Algerians from all generations, as well as friends of the revolution, gathered to mark this important event, indicating that France has to recognize these heinous crimes. Moving on to the Algerian-Serbian cooperation, the Foreign Affairs and National Community Abroad Minister Ahmed Attaf received the Serbian State Secretary in charge of Foreign Affairs, Goran Alexić. The meeting was an opportunity to reiterate the commitment to work on consolidating bilateral cooperation and commercial exchange, as well as intensifying official visits in different sectors between the two countries. At the International Conference Center, Abdelatif Rahal, the Forum of Technologies of Information and Communication kicked off with the participation of 13 countries, a real boon for the exchange and know-how in terms of technologies transfer. More insights with our field reporter Najah Tayar.
Algeria Forum of Information Technologies and Communication. An event, first of its kind, is intended to allow the operators in the sector to exchange knowledge and experience in technologies and digitalization field, discuss ways and means of developing the digital ecosystem in Algeria, and strengthening cooperation between them. The forum witnessed the participation of enterprises from more than 13 countries.
Here today we are with our vendor called Manage Engine, and Manage Engine is an Indian company which is a subsidiary of Zoho Corporation. Manage Engine is specialized in IT management, which offer unified IT solutions for different kind of line of business for our customers. So we cover the main, let's say, challenges for enterprise, and today we are here to provide them with what we have as new solutions, which can address a lot of challenges.
So we are Keystone Algeria. It's a partnership between Tunisian company and Algerian company. For us, we mainly now focus on the new law in Algeria about the protection of private data. So we try to help enterprise to build their privacy system to protect their data, and also it's the most important thing is to guide them or to lead them on how to secure this data against the, let's say, innovative attack that we face today.
The Algerian enterprises are heavily present to play their role in the country's communication technologies development.
ZTE actually is one big actor in the telecom industry. So we are present in the 4 operators here in Algeria through our technologies, access technology, transmission technology, IP, power, digitalization in general. And here is our participation actually to show our capability to discuss with our customers and to be closer to the ecosystem.
In tech company, small company, technology company was big ambition to bring digitalization, transformation digital and enabling capabilities for companies here in Algeria, across Africa and worldwide, why not?
As Karim Bibi-Triki, Minister of Posts and Telecommunication, has reaffirmed, the government and the ministry in charge continue to take the necessary measures and provide the required support for the development of the sector and to the benefit of the citizens.
One key area on building and modernizing the infrastructure is about the telecommunications infrastructure. I hope you notice it, the huge progress we are making during the last 2-3 years. So these are few indicators of key targets, objectives we have fixed in our ambitious plan for Ministry of Post and Telecommunication as part of the government plan. Building the right infrastructure, modernizing the infrastructure to support the digitalization of the society.
This first edition is lasting for 3 days, starting from the 8th until this May 10th.
In a different context, Morocco is now officially plunging into an economic crisis, and despite their daily protests, the Moroccan people are still faced with the total indifference of the Maghzad regime. Melissa Kobash tells us more.
The influence of the brothers Azaitar of the Moroccan king aroused the anger of the people. Moroccans believe that the king's absence coincides with his meeting 5 years ago with the Azaitar brothers, martial arts champions. Installed at the heart of the royal palace in Rabat, Abu Azaitar brought the 2 brothers, Uthman and Omar, alongside other members of his family. He reigns with the blessing of an absent king who defends him and showers him with gifts, including a palace in Tanger and luxurious cars, which arouses the public opinion. Abu Azaitar became an official decision-maker for the king and obtains a number of privileges, including the right to be received by the monarch, and are now considered as a prosperous family. Computer scam, driving without license, robbery, drug trafficking are a number of practices committed by the 2 brothers which remain unpunished.
كانت عندهم المتابعات في سنة 2004 في سنة 2005 في سنة 2006 في سنة 2007 جوج المتابعات في سنة 2012 كان عندهم يعني قال لك غسيل الأموال السرقة النصب الاحتيال العنف الجسدي المخدرات كل شيء كيبينوهم على أساس أنهم أخطر مجرمين.
The privileges obtained by the Azaitars created a feeling of injustice among the Moroccan population, especially that the country is facing an unprecedented socio-economic crisis.
And we wind up our news with Sudan, where the clashes continue and the humanitarian situation keeps worsening. New clashes took place this Monday, while shortages of foodstuffs, water and fuel are increasing by the day. It is worth noting that since the outbreak of the war in Sudan, hundreds were reported dead and thousands injured. And according to the UN, if war continues, additional 2.5 million people will suffer from hunger. And with that, our today's news edition comes to a close. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.